Alright, hey guys, Brian here, giving you guys another commentary, and today's tips and tricks. Go ahead and say what's up.
What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing today? This is Wes Image Wes, also helping Brian help you learn how to play a little bit better.
And learn how to speak too, I guess.
Yes. My grammar is very unscripted, if you can't tell.
Yeah,
but
for me, I
anyways,
just have a script in front of
continuing.
myself. Anyways, alright, so
Yes, he does.
today I wanted to talk to you guys about tips and tricks and what the best things to use on guns, like attachments and guns and perks and everything just overall. So I'm going to get started on that. On my guy right now, I have just a normal class setup, but I'm going to talk about the attachments for the FAMAS, which obviously most of you guys know is probably the best gun in the game. So I'll talk about the good attachments first, and then we'll go to pretty much bad and worthless attachments. The good attachments and the most used attachments are probably the red dot, I'd say, wouldn't you? It's probably the most used one.
The red dot, and then you do have the dual mag, the silencer, of course, and the extended mag. I mean, it depends on your preference in playing. The red dot's going to be probably one of the best to use in an aiming situation, in all actuality, so you're going to be coming out and you're going to be able to use that red dot a little bit better than you would do if you're not used to the iron sights. It gives you kind of a preference of what you're looking at a little bit better.
So alright, so the red dot, in my opinion, and Sean's, probably for you guys, good players and bad players, is probably the attachment to use, but in my preference, I know it's the dual mag. I really like that because it allows me to reload even faster even when I have sleight of hand on, and I know Sean's is probably the extended mag.
Exactly. I love using the iron sights. The iron sights have a really good point to them where it kind of centers out every single shot. With the red dot, you're kind of a little bit higher up, so you might want to, when you're aiming down that sight, you're kind of aiming, you have to aim at their stomach and area to get close to a headshot if you're trying to go for a headshot anyways. But with the iron sights, you're kind of looking, you can look anywhere and shoot them.
Right.
But continuing,
anyways,
so go ahead, Brian.
Another thing I wanted to say, if you guys do look at the stats between the red dot and the ACOG right here, the ACOG, it shows that it has one more extra bar of range, but obviously, as I'm going to show you guys later on in the video, which Image says too, that obviously the ACOG sight, it takes longer to aim down the sights, and the recoil is ridiculous with it. It's like jumped up by 10% at least with the recoil.
Yeah, it depends. It always depends, though, too, on the gun and the situation that you're in. The ACOG is a good thing to use. Now, if you're using the ACOG, you need to use it from a distance with a burst fire. You cannot use it any other way. If you try to spray with an ACOG, you're kind of leaving yourself out in the open.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. So.
Yep. All right. ACOG sight preferably for burst weapons. So, moving on. Anyways, the reflex.
Or a
burst
shot.
Like I've used the ACOG with FAMAS, and it's always been that like it has to be a 2 burst. Even a 3 burst, it's starting to like go crazy with recoil. Anyways, so the reflex sight, I've actually used this on my gun, all of 13th Prestige, and I went ham with it. I actually did really enjoy the reflex sight. I felt I was a little more accurate with it than I was the red dot, even though statistics are the same. Well, what's your thoughts on that, Image?
Well, what I think about the reflex scope is that the reflex scope itself is a little bit thinner, a little bit closer to a kind of in a mixture of the iron sight and the red dot. The red dot itself, if you kind of look at it, it's kind of wider, more viewable. But if you look at the reflex scope, it's more centered to the center of someone's body, which, like, if you for instance look at the iron sights, it's more centered to the body. But the iron sights, it's kind of tough to use the iron sights if you're coming off of using a red dot and you're trying to get back to the iron sights and you're trying to use a silencer only weapon. I would have referred to you trying to use the reflex scope, getting used to reflex scope, and then coming off of that reflex scope back to the iron sight.
Right.
Because it's just a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, and with me, like the reflex sight, it was really great. I'd say the only problem I had with it was when you aim in, you kind of lose a little bit of view, like you with the red dot or iron sight. You kind of lose your kind of sense of view because it blocks it, just like the ACOG sight does. You know what I mean? It blocks everything around you. Not everything, but it gives you like a smaller view of things around you when you're aiming in. So I don't know, it's kind of a trade-off, but it's the same amount of recoil as it is with the red dot or a reflex sight. I just for some reason felt more accurate with the reflex sight. But anyways, moving on. The Master Key Flamethrower, to me, pretty much worthless unless you feel like dicking around, because I don't know. I don't find them of any value at all. Your opinion on that?
Well, in my opinion, if you're coming at me with a flamethrower, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not probably gonna kill me. If you get lucky, maybe you'll see me. Maybe you'll get me from behind with a flamethrower or a Master Key. The Master Key, on the other hand, which I can tell you, is decent to an extent. You can't just run around and spray that because it is not accurate. It isn't as powerful as a normal shotgun, and you can't just run around and be like, oh yeah, well I have a shotgun on the bottom of my assault rifle. Like, no, dude, it doesn't work that way. So you kind of gotta even it out. You gotta even out the playing field on that. So what's the best perk? Oh well, if I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the best perks to use with the shotgun attachment is gonna be steady aim, because steady aim, you're getting that hip fire. So why don't you think about it? It's hip fire plus the shotgun. You're not able to aim in sights with the shotgun on the bottom of the assault rifle. So use steady aim with it. It'll help.
Right. And oops, my bad. And the flamethrower, yeah, like you said, pretty worthless, especially when I'm running Flak Jacket Pro, like a lot of people do in our clan, and a lot of people, period. They either running Flak Jacket or Ghost, except for Sean. I don't know. He's kind of weird. Just one Scavenger, like the redheaded stepchild.
I really don't. Yeah, me myself, Scavenger's the best one for me, because in all actuality, what my perks are, I can tell you right now, my perks are going to be Scavenger Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro, Marathon Pro. Why I run those perks is because I want to be able to get somewhere quick. I want to be able to reload a little bit faster and make sure that I have that ammo to do the job that I need to get done. I might die maybe double digits, but if I die double digits, you're not going to see me under double digits. You're going to see me like when I get my kills plus my deaths. Yeah, anywhere between those that KD. Like Brian can show you, for instance, if you look at my last 5 games, I did pretty decent. I'm not doing too terrible. My accuracy's a little bit bad with my guns right now. That's just because this was my first account. If I made a second account, my accuracy would probably be about a 20. No, the AK-47 is actually high. If you look at my complete accuracy, it's 14.92.
Yeah.
I have 10,000 kills. It's a 1539. So I mean, I'm pretty accurate with a really bad recoil weapon. So I mean, that's just my preference.
The thing with me with the AK-47 is I'd use it, but to me, it's kind of like, I don't know. The only reason I use it is if I use a red dot on it, and to me the red dot on it is ugly, but it basically makes the recoil straight up and down, so I don't know. Anyways, moving on, because we're going really slowly here. The infrared scope, probably one of the most worthless attachments I've ever used. Pardon my French. I can't speak right now. Anyways,
I'm gonna be honest with you too about that. That is completely true. It is probably like one of the dumbest perks, because especially if someone's running Ghosts, you're not gonna really see them from a distance unless you're a quick
and we know if you're going into a pub match, that's all anybody's running pretty much. So you're not gonna see half to 75% of the people with that scope. So I mean, it kind of makes it pointless. It does. I mean, like Call of Duty, I feel like it screws with me sometimes, because you look at the accuracy on the ACOG and the infrared, and it shows with the infrared you get 2 extra range dots, but it really makes the recoil bad. And I don't know. It's just bad.
Yeah, and then you have the ability to hold your own breath, which holding your breath with an automatic rifle, the first shot goes off, your breath is already unheld.
Right. Exhaled. Yeah.
It's pointless.
Alright, so the suppressor, my opinion, really useful on pretty much any weapon except sniper rifles. kind of stupid then, in my opinion. But on the on SMGs or assault rifles, the silencer is really nice. I only use it for free for all or search and destroy, because in domination I really don't care if they know where I am. If my teammates or I have a Blackbird up, I'm obviously have the upper hand and I'm probably gonna kill them. So what's your opinion on that?
Well, let's look at this. With the silencer, it's one of the best. I would think it's probably one of the best things in this game for anybody that's a lower class player. Which I'm not saying anything bad about lower class players, but in all actuality, there's a trick. There's always tricks. Say you go into a pub match by yourself, you run into a team of people. Most of them know how to spawn trap, but some of them don't. Say they don't know how to spawn trap. One thing about the silencer I love about it is the fact that it's invisible. It's invisible to the people on their radar, which doesn't let them react a little bit faster. I mean, if they're running Turtle Beaches, I would say be careful, but at the same time, you don't really have to be too careful,
right,
because you can run into their spawn. You can give them a good one in the back. Like, in all actuality, the silencer was my favorite at the beginning until I figured out that
I'd
you
say
really
it was
don't
probably
need a
my
silencer
favorite
for
too.
your
I'd
weapons.
say for I'd say, I don't know the word, noobs, I guess. As I started out, I used the silencer just because I think noobs feel more secure that they're not showing up on the radar, and they feel like they have somewhat of an upper hand, which a suppressor does give you, but it also decreases your range, obviously, and your accuracy.
Well, yeah, but one thing too about the silencer is that when you're trying to shoot it at a range, you're gonna want to tap the shot. You're never gonna want to take too many bullets into it, and then on top of it, you're gonna want to look at it like this too. If say you're a lower class player, but you still are. Say for instance, you do have a high KD, but you're not a lower class player, and you're running the silencer very well, and you know how to run it, and you're running by yourself. Usually, you'll see the one guy that's really good running a silencer with Ninja, or well, not Ghost per se, but some of them usually run silencer with Ninja by the fact that they can actually get behind you, and what that is flanking a teammate or an enemy, whatever you want to say, and once you get behind that person, it's kind of over. You're not going to be able to really suggest turning on them if you're not that good
Right.
at the game, because your sensitivity is usually running like a 5, so you're not going to be able to just turn. So, I mean, depending on the sensitivity level and everything else, you might want to try to run with the silencer for a little while. Trust me, I've done it in Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops. I've done it in every single type of
Right.
game. I always run a silencer. I love the
Alright,
silencers.
we gotta move on because we got a
Safest.
couple minutes left. So, alright, so the last attachment, grenade launcher. I can't say enough how much I've seen this attachment in Modern Warfare 2. Obviously, all of you guys have. It was probably the most overused attachment in that game for people that were losing the game. They always wanted to use it, and I found myself halfway through the life of this game kind of running into it a lot, and that's what made me start using Flak Jacket. I always used Scavenger before that, but I don't know. I want your opinion on it, Sean. So go ahead.
Well, like I said, depending on the perks and the gun you're using, there's going to be people inside this game that you're going to see people camping, people sitting in corners, whatever, but they're never going to move. When you're usually a newbie or player, you usually camp in a corner, you kind of wait around for somebody, and you're running Ghost, Ninja, Silencer, whatever, blah blah blah, Modern Warfare, you're running Dead Silence, this and that. I mean, in all actuality, you get a noob tube. Depending on how you're using the noob tube, you actually can, you can actually kill people fairly well, especially the ones that are camping. Say you run into a building, you get shot by a corner, well, you know that guy is, you have your noob tube, you shoot him right back. Boom, done and over with. Just like with grenades, it's the same concept.
Alright, well, we're going to have to end this video. The next video segment, if this gets enough likes, then we'll be doing the next video segments on probably perks, and then the next one on equipment, frags, flashes and claymores. So if you guys do like this new series, make sure to drop a like. If we could get 10 likes, then I'll do the next episode, and I appreciate you guys watching this, and hopefully we'll be able to do another one